Greetings, dear one. Did you know attitude is contagious? It's worse than any contagious thing of all is consciousness, attitude that we pick up from other people. And so what you want to do is realize we rise and fall by our associations. And I think about, the books that I like of mostly ancient wisdom that is true and profound and applicable every single moment beyond time. So I'm associating with those great souls because I'm reading the results of their exploration into consciousness, of attaining these various stages and qualities of being, bringing forth all their divine qualities and abilities and talents and powers. And it's really interesting. You become like who you associate with, who you spend time with, who you believe, who is your authority, your author, your authority writing your story. And consciousness of attitude is contagious. So when you have a beautiful attitude, others also can have a beautiful attitude because they'll pick it up from you unless they want to feel bad, And then sometimes someone who's really feeling bad and you're feeling good, their energy could be so strong. I was someplace the other day when a person came into the room with so much anger. And I was like, whoa, it's like knocking me off, and the energy just pervades. And what is it? Didn't say anything in that sense, but it's a feeling. And it happens in relationships. You say, well, what's the matter? Well, nothing. People lie. But then you have to go into their mood and their attitude and their consciousness, you see. And especially like I remember I had three other sisters. So in our family, mom and dad and 4 girls, and everybody was was wild, in that sense. And in one level it's fun because you're, all happening. But another level is you're very affected by the moods of the other people and their state of mind, their general attitude. So you want to be able to protect yourself from the consciousness and the attitudes that you don't want. And one of the ways you can do that sometimes just get away is that you go be by yourself and do some breathing, get yourself centered, maybe take your shoes off, maybe lie down on the grass outside and look at the trees, and smell, get some nice air going, a little walk by the beach or in the woods or wherever you can to get back to who you really are. And this bad attitude thing, so many people that are managing a business or they're an administrator have no idea of how to really work with people. And so they're always blaming the employees of the other people because they're not getting their job done, but they don't really know what their job is, nor are they inspired with a great attitude. And when you have when you get into the hangdog attitude, or you get into the pity poor me attitude, or you could get into life's not fair attitude, or it's nobody likes me attitude, or I'm not good enough attitude, or I don't have any money attitude, blah blah blah. What you're doing is this is a state of consciousness where you have left your state of being as a divine being and you're following your thoughts. And the thought of they don't like me, you could get really scared, and you feel bad because something's wrong with you, or you get rejected in a relationship. One time, one of my granddaughters had shared that her boyfriend left her, and I said, fantastic! That's great! And she goes, what? She's looking at me. You're going to get involved in a bad attitude and poor me, I guess I'm not good enough, nobody loves me, and then you feel sorry for yourself, and then you suck everybody else into your whole poor you, are you all right? And some people make sickness a habit, in the sense they could heal it, they could get rid of it if they find out what to do, what's the cause of it. You just don't treat symptoms, you go to the cause of something. And when you go to the cause, you do eliminate the cause, you eliminate the problem, because it can't exist without the cause. You see what I mean? So when we have these attitudes, and you think when you want to have a new attitude or a good attitude or a great attitude, is you're keeping your mind stable, and you're not letting your mind jerk around all the time, and you sometimes you just have to talk to yourself, and give it. It's really, in a sense, you're affirming what you want. And when you have a good attitude, it means you feel good, you're enthused. And I like the word enthused, entheos. It means within God, or within source, or beloved, that you are always enthused. See, if you get excited, you're also going to get depressed, because that's how the mind works. It works in duality, like and dislike. Up has a down, down has an up. And it goes there. So when you're excited, then you're going to get depressed. And then I'm excited, and I'm depressed, and then I'm bored, and then I'm feeling bad. It's just going on and on. And if you take a look at, if you ever watch the news or something on the internet or TV or whatever, everybody, they want to know, what's your emotion? We want the emotion. We want the feeling. Because souls, if we look at this, are feeling bodies. This comes from Vedic knowledge, that souls are feeling bodies. We have a feeling body. We have an eternal spiritual body. And it is a feeling body, a sensing body, a knowing body. This is who we are. You're beyond description. And when you have a great attitude, it also affects your body, just like a bad attitude, a sad attitude, a poor me attitude, a depressed, I'm going to die attitude, I'm going to lose, all this. And there's such fear of the loss maybe of a partner or a mate, or such fear of the loss of a job, or fear of the loss of your money, or fear of the loss of anything. So always in the consciousness is this fear of loss, as if you have, and you're already living it as if it's happened to you. You're already experiencing the thing that might happen someday that probably never will, or if it does, you want to prepare yourself. Is that it? You're preparing for the loss? You can't lose. One of my old friends was Reverend Ike. He was a prosperity teacher, and he'd say, you can't lose with the stuff we use. It was really good. He had these really cool little sayings and everything. So a bad attitude, I know this one guy up here at Chapter, every time you see him, he go, can't even say, how are you? Because if you say, how are you? I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. This is all. So what am I supposed to do about that? It's like this. So people have a predominant attitude, and we say, oh, you're a Pollyanna. You put you down. Well, why? What's your alternative? Years ago, when I was skiing at Mammoth, and I was on the deck looking out there, there was a woman there who was had a quadriplegic body in a wheelchair, and she had been a skier that was getting ready for the Olympics, and had Jill Kinmont, and she had this skiing accident. Watching her in this wheelchair, she was in joy watching the other skiers. And I said, boy, you have a great attitude. She said, what's my option? What's your option? And it's in some levels, we've got to make the best of a bad situation, in a sense, because you look at what's going on supposedly in the world, at least we're being told by whatever media thing we're watching or reading or studying about it. But again, what does that have to do with you? There's somewhere in the Bible, so I think somewhere in Jesus' teaching, in that particular form of, it's not that I believe teachings, that's not it. I use them to bring me to myself, to who I really am in my connection with you and the divine and all that is. and work to take off all these layers of unconsciousness and ignorance and self-abuse and abuse of others and all of this that we have been, and you might say, acclimated to. We've been taught this, to compete, to fight, to war, all this, and to say it's human. You know, it really isn't. It's very alien to us because we're very gentle, kind, and loving. And so when we get so much stuff coming at us all the time in the world, and then you think, well, I guess I have to feel bad for others. Don't feel bad for others. Have compassion, but don't take on their stuff. That's see, an empaths are these people who are very, well, I'm an empath, so very sensitive to feelings, and we really are, all of us, if we allow ourselves to tune in to our own beingness and where we go. So we do feel things and we notice and sense. And I remember my mom would always be in the family trying to be in the middle between this group and that group, trying to keep balance. So it keeps you uneasy all the time, trying to be a peacemaker, trying to make sure they're not upset and they're not upset and they're okay and this is that and all this stuff going on in the world. It says, well, imagine if this struck you down. Don't imagine it if you don't want it. I'm telling you that. Don't imagine it if you don't want it, because your imagination is powerful, powerful. So that sense to stay centered, because consciousness attitude is contagious, and it's in epidemic proportions where people are in anxiety and fear. And you see, it isn't the leaving the body that's such a big deal. It's the fear of how's it going to happen? It'll be painful. Is this going to do? I'll lose my stuff and my people and I won't. No. The good and the bad news is you cannot die, my darling. So you better know who you are. And how you get that. We can get that a lot from ancient teachings, ancient wisdom, but you apply it. It's not a belief system. You apply these tools and these steps to bring you to who you are, to keep you centered in yourself, and to not be blown around by every little change in the weather, every little change in the people, every little change that's going on, because this world changes all the time, because consciousness changes. So, have the consciousness of enthusiasm. Keep that consciousness, and if people around you and out there in the world, they're bumming you out, and just avoid them as much as possible so you can keep in yourself and have your own way that you keep centered, so that nobody can knock you off your center of being.